My family told me Christmas was canceled because they had no money. I spent Christmas alone eating Chinese food. Then at 7 p.m., I got an Instagram notification that made my heart stop. My sister was live streaming their massive Christmas party. The next morning, my dad texted asking for $2,500 rent money. What I did next changed everything. If you've ever felt used by the people who are supposed to love you most, this story is for you. Hit that subscribe button because what I'm about to tell you proves that sometimes the best revenge is simply removing yourself from people who only see you as an ATM. Let's get into it. My name is Sarah, and I'm 28 years old. I work in digital marketing for a tech company, and I make what most people would consider good money, around $90,000 a year. It's not wealthy by any means, but it's comfortable, stable. More than I ever thought I'd make, honestly. My family, they've never had that kind of stability. My mom, Linda, works part-time at a grocery store. My dad, Michael, bounces between construction jobs that pay under the table. My younger sister, Emma, is 24 and has convinced herself she's going to be a full-time Instagram influencer, which means she works maybe 10 hours a week at a coffee shop and spends the rest of her time taking photos of her breakfast. For years, actually for my entire adult life, I've been the family safety net. Not because anyone asked me directly at first, but because that's just how it evolved. Mom's car broke down? I'd quietly Venmo her $800 for repairs. Dad got laid off for 3 months? I'd loan him money for the mortgage that we both knew would never be paid back. Emma's phone got shut off? Somehow, that became my bill to pay. The family Netflix account, Hulu, Disney Plus, Spotify, all on my credit card. Their internet? Mine. I was even paying for my dad's separate apartment he'd rented after my parents separated 2 years ago. $2,500 a month, every single month. I never missed a payment. I told myself this was what family did. You help each other. You show up. You take care of the people you love, especially when they're struggling and you're doing okay. And honestly, it made me feel good. It made me feel needed, important, like I had a role in the family that mattered. Christmas has always been our thing. No matter what drama happened during the year, and there was always drama, Christmas brought us back together. We'd crowd into my parents' small house, and it would be chaos. Beautiful, messy, loud chaos. Mom would cook enough food to feed 20 people, even though there were only 8 of us. Dad would play the same Bing Crosby album on repeat until we all wanted to scream. My Uncle Mike would drink too much beer and start telling inappropriate stories. Cousin Jake would inevitably break something. Emma would document every moment for Instagram with her phone in everyone's face. This year, I went all out on gifts. I'd been planning since October, carefully choosing things I knew would make each person light up. For Mom, I'd found this high-end KitchenAid mixer in the exact shade of blue she'd been pinning on Pinterest for months. For Dad, a collector's edition whiskey set with crystal glasses and this rare bourbon he'd mentioned once in passing 6 months ago. For Emma, the designer crossbody bag she'd been posting about constantly, the one with the waiting list. I'd spent over $2,000 on gifts alone, but seeing their faces when they opened these things, that would be priceless. That was worth everything. Then came December 18th, a Tuesday. I was in the middle of a client presentation when my phone buzzed with a notification from our family group chat. I glanced down during a break and saw Mom's message. "Hey guys, we have to cancel Christmas this year. Money is too tight and we don't want anyone to stress about spending money. We'll do something small next year. Love you all." I felt my stomach drop. Cancel Christmas? I read it 3 more times trying to process. I knew they were struggling. I was literally paying their bills. But cancel Christmas entirely? But I understood. Or at least, I wanted to understand. Times were hard. The economy was rough. Maybe they just needed a year without the pressure of gifts and hosting and pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. I typed back, "No problem, Mom. I love you guys. We'll make next year awesome." I didn't offer to pay for everything, which I easily could have done. I didn't want them to feel bad or like they needed my charity. I just said, okay. I was a team player. I was understanding. So I spent Christmas Eve alone in my one-bedroom apartment. I ordered Chinese food, General Tso's chicken and vegetable lo mein, and watched Elf and Home Alone by myself on my couch. I lit a vanilla-scented candle. I poured myself a glass of wine. I told myself this was fine. This was peaceful even. Maybe I needed a quiet holiday. Maybe this was healthy. Christmas morning, I slept in until almost 10, which I never do. I made chocolate chip pancakes and coffee. I sat by my tiny Christmas tree, just a 3-foot thing I'd gotten from Target, and read a book. I called a couple of friends who lived in other cities. I took a long bath. By evening, I'd actually convinced myself that this simple, solitary Christmas was exactly what I needed. No stress, no pressure, no cooking for 8 people or cleaning up after everyone or mediating family arguments. Just peace. Then, at 7:06 p.m., my phone buzzed with an Instagram notification. Emma, Style Life is live now. I smiled, figuring she was probably doing some cute Christmas evening thing, maybe showing off her outfit or decorating cookies or something. Emma was always going live, so I clicked on it, expecting something harmless. What I saw made my entire body go cold. The screen showed my parents' living room, but it didn't look anything like the cramped, cluttered space I knew. It had been transformed into something out of a magazine. White string lights were draped everywhere. A massive, professionally decorated Christmas tree stood in the corner, easily 8 feet tall, covered in coordinated gold and silver ornaments. The dining table was loaded with food: ham, turkey, casseroles, pies, everything. And people. So many people. Uncle Mike was there, beer in hand, laughing loudly at something. Cousin Jake wore a ridiculous light-up Santa hat. I saw my dad in the background, actually dancing to music I could hear through Emma's phone speaker. My mom was rushing around with plates, her face flushed and happy. But Emma's face filled the screen, bright with that practiced influencer smile. "Merry Christmas from the real family," she chirped into her camera. "This is what happens when you're with people who actually care about you." The real family. People who actually care. I felt like someone had reached into my chest and crushed my heart with their bare hand. I watched for 20 more minutes, unable to look away. I saw neighbors I recognized. Family friends. Some of Emma's Instagram followers she'd apparently invited. Strangers she knew from the internet were at this party I'd been deliberately excluded from. Everyone was dressed up. Everyone was having the time of their lives. Everyone except me. The truth crashed over me like freezing water. This was never about money. This wasn't about COVID concerns or wanting a small, simple holiday. They'd thrown a huge, expensive party and intentionally left me out. I sat there on my couch, my cold Chinese food congealing in its container, my candle burned down to nothing, watching my family celebrate without me. And something inside me, some fundamental part of my heart that had always believed family was everything, shattered. I didn't cry, I just felt numb, hollow. But the worst part, the part that would push me over the edge, was still coming. The next morning, December 26th, at exactly 9:32 a.m., my phone buzzed with a text from Dad. "Hey Sarah, can you send the $2,500 for rent? I need it today, thanks." No Merry Christmas. No, how was your holiday? No acknowledgement whatsoever of what they'd done. Just a request for money, like I was a bank, like I was an ATM, like I was a resource to be used, not a daughter to be loved. That's when the numbness transformed into something else entirely, into clarity, into cold, focused rage. I opened my banking app and pulled up the list of recurring payments I'd set up for my family. Dad's rent, $2,500 a month. Emma's phone bill, $150 a month. Family streaming services, $40 a month. Mom and Dad's internet, $75 a month. Mom's car insurance, $120 a month. I'd been paying for their lives, literally keeping roofs over their heads and phones in their hands, and they couldn't even include me in Christmas. They'd lied to my face about canceling it, then thrown a party and rubbed it in my face on social media, then immediately turned around and asked for more money. I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't hurt. I was done. I canceled everything. Every single payment, every subscription, every bill. I went through my bank's recurring payment section and deleted it all. Then I called Emma's phone carrier and had her line removed from my account. I changed all the streaming service passwords. The whole process took maybe 15 minutes. I wasn't crying. I wasn't shaking. My hands were steady. I felt eerily calm, like I was watching myself from outside my body. They'd shown me exactly how much I meant to them, which was nothing unless I was actively giving them money. Now I was going to show them how much they meant to me. I didn't respond to Dad's text. I just let it sit there, unread, on my phone. By the next morning, my phone was exploding. 43 missed calls by noon. Text messages filling up my screen faster than I could read them. Voicemails stacking up. Even Cousin Jake, who'd never called me in his entire life, tried to reach me twice. The first voicemail I listened to was from Mom. Her voice was high-pitched, panicked. "Sarah, please call us right now. There's been a big mistake. The rent didn't go through and Emma's phone is turned off and the internet isn't working. We need to talk to you. Please call us back. This is serious." There was no mistake. This was exactly what I'd intended. This was precision. For the next 3 days, they bombarded me. Emma posted cryptic, passive-aggressive Instagram stories about fake families who abandon you when you need them most. Dad left angry voicemails calling me selfish, ungrateful, and cruel. Mom sent a long, rambling text message trying to explain the Christmas situation. But that text message contained one line that made me even angrier. "We didn't think this would hurt you so much. We thought you were used to being left out by now." Used to being left out, like being excluded by my own family, was just my normal state of existence, like it was an expected, acceptable part of my role in their lives. Then something truly insane happened. On December 30th, I got a call from my bank's fraud department. Someone had attempted to access my checking account 3 times from an unauthorized device. They'd triggered the security system. The device was registered to an IP address in my parents' zip code. Specifically, it was my old iPad I'd left at their house years ago and forgotten about. Someone in my family was trying to steal money directly from my account. That afternoon, I drove to my parents' house. Not to reconcile, not to talk, to get my property back and to tell them exactly what I thought of them. The elaborate Christmas decorations were already coming down when I pulled up. The massive tree was half dismantled in the yard. Lights hung sadly from the porch railing. Dad answered the door. He looked terrible, gray-faced, unshaven, with dark circles under his eyes like he hadn't slept in days. "I want my iPad back," I said flatly. He tried to make excuses, claiming he didn't know what I was talking about, then saying Emma had been using it, then finally admitting he'd tried to check something on my bank account because there'd been a misunderstanding. He handed it over. I wiped it clean right there on the porch, factory reset it while he watched. Then Emma appeared behind him, her eyes red from crying. Real crying, not the pretty camera-ready kind she did on Instagram. "Sarah, wait, please. Can we just talk for 5 minutes?" I looked at my little sister, the girl I'd protected, supported, enabled for years, and I felt nothing. "I gave you 28 years to talk to me," I said. "I think that's enough." I got in my car and drove away. I didn't look back. That was 4 months ago. My life now is unrecognizable from what it was. Not because anything external changed dramatically, but because everything internal did. I heard through mutual friends that Dad couldn't afford his apartment and had to move back in with Mom. Their relationship, which was already strained, apparently became unbearable when they were forced to share space again out of financial necessity rather than choice. Emma had to get a real job, a full-time position at a retail store, the kind of work she'd always considered beneath her. Her Instagram follower count has been steadily dropping because she can't afford the lifestyle content she used to post. Turns out people don't want to follow an influencer whose life isn't aspirational. The family fell apart without my money holding them together. And I realized that's all I ever was to them. Structural support, financial scaffolding, not a daughter, not a sister, just a resource to be exploited. 3 weeks ago, I found something in my mailbox that I think was supposed to hurt me. It was a photo from their Christmas party. In the picture, everyone was smiling, holding drinks, and gathered around that beautiful tree. On the back, someone, probably Emma, based on the handwriting, had written, "We had fun without you anyway." I kept it on my kitchen table for a week, staring at it every morning with my coffee, trying to feel something, trying to feel hurt or angry or sad. But all I felt was free. They were still thinking about me. 4 months later, they were still trying to hurt me, still trying to get a reaction, still hoping I'd come crawling back. But I wasn't thinking about them anymore. For the first time in my entire adult life, I wasn't at anyone's ATM. I wasn't anyone's backup plan. I wasn't anyone's safety net. I was just me, living my life, using my money on myself. And that felt incredible. I learned something important. The best revenge isn't elaborate or dramatic. Sometimes it's just removing yourself from people who only value what you can give them. It's reclaiming your time, your money, your energy, and investing it in yourself instead of pouring it into a bottomless pit of people who'll never appreciate it. They taught me I was nothing more than a bank account to them. So I closed that account. Simple as that. So what do you think? Did I do the right thing, or did I go too far? Drop your honest opinion in the comments. If you've ever been used by family or people you thought cared about you, hit that like button. You're not alone. And subscribe, because I've got more stories about people who finally stopped being doormats and started standing up for themselves. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.